Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I hope you are doing well. As always, we are StarBoyzz
365.
and we are here with another video. So in our last video, we were talking about flinging up legs and stuff. Wait a second, that must be the wrong video. No, in the last video we were talking about our overall perception of Merida and what we were doing in Merida and things to do in Merida, and showing you some fun videos and clips or whatever from our time there. So in this video, we want to kind of get like a little bit more direct and a little personal in some moments, to kind of give a close on our full-on experience in Merida,
Yes.
Mexico.
It was amazing, guys. It was amazing.
On to the video. So yes guys, welcome back. So if you've been following us, then you know that we've had a couple of videos come out already about our time traveling to Mexico. This is our third video related to the subject, and in this video we just want to kind of talk about some direct things as far as our experience in Merida was concerned. So the one thing I want to kind of put over this whole video is the concept of community and the concept of responsibility. So as a community, as a world community, we have a responsibility to kind of look out for one another. We're usually all trained to kind of look out for our families and our friends, but there are people that are all over the world that you may never know will need you, or for whatever reason. Maybe you might have something to say to them, maybe you have something to give to them, or maybe you have a desire to buy products that they're creating that is going to help them get one step closer to their personal goals. So these are things that we all want to take into account when we are traveling. Is this idea of community and responsibility. So first I want to talk about responsibility. Okay, so when we traveled to Merida, Mexico, like I said in previous videos, I wanted to go and I wanted to get the full-on, experience. I wanted to kind of stay in an Airbnb that kind of followed the aesthetic of, Aztec and Mayan culture and Mexican culture, little artifacts. I wanted all of that. And as you guys know, we stayed at our little Airbnb, which was called Casa Coco.
Casa Coco.
And you saw from the videos that we did in the clips that we showed in previous videos on the overall house. The house itself is just beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. But it wasn't until the end of our stay where our time at that particular Airbnb got a little kind of sketchy. Because you have to remember that, you're going to travel to these other places, and you're going to go and you want to go live in their environment and this, that, and third, but you still have to be respected. Because at the end of the day, no matter where you go, you're still spending your money, and your money warrants a certain amount to be received. So the house that we had was fine. All of the amenities that were there, perfect, this, that, and the third. But towards the end, like I said, that's when the issues started to come into play. So in the description, it says they have a washer and dryer. Great. I went out to the washer and dryer, and I'm not thinking anything of it. I'm like, okay, there's a washer and dryer. So I go, put my clothes in the washing machine, and I start to wash my clothes. Clothes are washed. Now, the next step is to dry the clothes, right? So I put the clothes in the dryer. The dryer doesn't turn on. So I'm like, okay. Try a couple of the different button configurations. It still doesn't come on. I check the plug. It doesn't come on. I check the light switch. Even Alexander check some things or whatever. Maybe I was doing something wrong. Nothing come on. So I hit up the owners of the property and said, hey, the dryer's not working. They're like, oh, well, that's kind of weird. It should be working. I'm like, is there anything that I need to do that I'm not doing? They're like, no, just press the button. I'm like, okay, but I've been doing that. I was just like, well, just, try it again. Take the plug out and plug it back in. So I did all of that, right? And I wrote it back and I said, the dryer's not working. And it was like, okay. Their next response should have been, well, we'll send somebody over to come kind of take a look at it or whatever so that you can, take care of your things properly. And I'm like, but no, that's not what they said. They said, I said, well, if the dryer doesn't work, then maybe I'll have to,
dry and hang them on roof.
Maybe I'll have to just hang dry them throughout the house. And they were like, okay, great. I'm like, what? Like, that shouldn't be your response.
Yeah.
That shouldn't be your response at all. Granted, like, my communication with these people was very good early on, but as the time progressed, it was just like, they were like, okay, great, yeah, we have other things to do. I'm like, okay, like, I'm staying in one of your properties, like, you should want to come over here and try to figure out what's going on.
Yeah.
So, it's whatever. And then, so we hung dry the clothes. I think the clothes took a whole day and a half to fully dry before we could even pack them.
Thank God for Mexicans.
Yes, because that was an inconvenience, to say the least. Like, if I wanted a house without a washer and dryer, then I would have found a house without a washer and dryer. But I specifically chose that property because of the washer and dryer. So responsibility. Make sure you guys, when you're traveling, make sure that whoever is on the reciprocating end of your travels is kind of matching up to your expectations. Because if they're not, then you need to either look into getting money back, or you need to look into doing the handy dandy review. Because handy dandy reviews, even though it is a little on a computer, it can do a whole lot of damage if someone doesn't treat you right.
And on top of that, with the clothes, because my little Virgo kicked in and I was kind of pissed the hell off. So now, we could have hung them outside, but Branson, I'm going to let him tell you the story why we couldn't hang them outside. In the Mexican sun heat, we had to hang them indoors. We had to hang a whole situation, a whole contraption from here to here, from line to line around the house. But let Branson tell you why we couldn't hang them outside. Why?
Yeah, because when we first got there, and we had video clips and we showed you what the back area looked like. Beautiful, got the palm trees, there's a pool, there's lawn furniture, like, it was great. And there just happened to be like a lot of dead palm trees, like on the ground or hanging from the tree. And I didn't think anything of it. Like, this is my first time in Merida, so I'm just like, maybe they like to leave it like this. Maybe
that too, But Branson is also forgetting the bird poo everywhere. I hope you guys were going to send a clip back again that we had put before. Look at the minor fine details that we saw. But I don't know if y'all saw it on video, but we saw it. Continue.
Yeah, so like I said, I was going to get to that part, but you cut me off.
Sorry. I was pissed.
Yeah.
Pissed.
But like I said, they had just dead palm trees on the ground, dead palm trees hanging from the tree. And I didn't think anything of it. I'm just like, okay, maybe they're hoping that they're going to magically grow back. So I'm not going to make a big issue about it. Okay, whatever. So, on the last day or the day before we were supposed to leave, they text me to say that the gardener is coming in to look at the back. And I'm like, okay. So I'm thinking he's not going to be back there that long. Like, he's not going to be doing that much because it was just two people using the house. So it was like the back area didn't get that crazy. So they came there and, I'm in the house just kind of situating, getting my bags packed and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, you know what? Let me go and just take a look at what exactly the gardener is going to do. And, like Alexander said, we couldn't hang our clothes out in the back because they have bats that are out there, and bats shit all over the place. So you can't string a rope of clothes in the back area because guess what? They might be dry, but they're going to be dry with bat shit on it.
Yeah.
And then if I have bat shit on my clothes, then I'm going to go bat shit crazy.
Thank you.
So we couldn't do that. Like he said, we had to hang it in the house. So I thought that I would just kind of stand and just watch to see what they were doing. And I sat there for probably like 15 minutes and watched as they transformed the back area into this island oasis.
Where they do that at, yo?
They were cutting down the dead leaves. They were wiping this, doing all of this and stuff, everything. And at that point, I was just like, okay. So I went outside and I spoke to the girl and I said, and grant you, so, you know, like I said, I know Spanish, so I was out there speaking to the girl. And I just kind of let her know, like this is ridiculous. Like this, I don't understand what I'm seeing right now. I'm like, we have been in this house for a week and a half now, and you guys have never come over here to bring a gardener to make the back area look nice or anything like that. I'm like, I spent a lot of money to be here too. I spent a lot of money to be here for a week and a half, and I haven't been an unruly guest in your home or anything like that. I've been very respectful. I haven't bothered you guys or anything. And like you're literally sitting here and you're transforming the back into this oasis.
Right.
Like it was just like the sun. I mean, after the gardener was done, it was like the sun was even shining differently in the back. Like it was so ridiculous. It was so ridiculous. And I approached her and I asked her, I was just like, so, you know, how come we didn't get this? And she's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, how come we didn't get a nice, beautiful backyard area when we came and took over the house? She's like, oh, well, they should come, but this is, you know, they usually come at a certain time every week or every month or whatever to clean the back area. And I looked at her and I'm like, how convenient. So you're going to tell me that on the very day that I'm checking out, just so happens to be the very day that the gardener was supposed to come and clean the backyard?
Where they do that at? Where?
As they say, hashtag get the fuck out of here.
Amen.
Like I'm not receiving that. So, you know, like I told her, I was just like, I'm gonna have to kind of write a review to Airbnb, a very long, scathing review to Airbnb about this, because yes, your house is beautiful, but these certain behaviors don't make any sense. They don't make any sense. So it's like, as far as responsibility is concerned, like for those people who utilize Airbnbs, make sure that the picture matches reality. You know, you don't want to buy from a catalog, and then when you get there, it's just like, this is made out of paper. I thought it was supposed to be the finest silk from Egypt. So make sure that you fine tune like your picture and you look at everything and filter through it. And go in there and let them know, like you know, hit them up and say, look, like what's going on? Like, why is this different? Why is that different? Why is this not here? Why are these amenities not working? And letting them know, like, this is not gonna be acceptable.
Correct.
So, needless to say, like we said, we decided to stay a couple extra days. Unfortunately, we couldn't extend our stay at Casa Coco, so we had to get another Airbnb. I forget what that one was called. But on the picture, like, you know, I mean, cameras are manipulative, I tell you that. Manipulative. So, we just needed something for a couple days. And
wow,
we found an Airbnb or whatever. I found an Airbnb. It was like,
you want to show some clips?
It was like $19 a day. And I'm like, oh, okay. And I looked at the pictures and I'm like, okay, like, you know, they have little cute things. Like, they don't have full on amenities like the house that we're leaving, but it's, you know, it's enough for what we need before we have to leave Merida.
How quaint.
Quaint is, you know, is the magic word. But yeah, like we'll show you clips of what that house looked like.
Okay.
I mean, the bathroom, the shower, again, like Resident Evil moments.
Y'all.
Like the shower was like
Resident
full
Evil
of flies.
4 moments, shit.
Yeah. I mean, the shower was full of flies. The toilet seat wouldn't go down. There were spider webs all over everywhere in there. The bed, the mattress was probably like this thick, you know, so it felt like sleeping on the floor.
It was crazy, y'all. It was crazy. It was crazy.
Usually because the water is not safe to drink in Mexico, they usually supply you with water. We had like 2 little bottles of water that they supplied us with.
Yo.
There wasn't even like a stove. It was like a hot plate and like, you know, it was just like. But like I said, like it's not like we needed it for anything major. So the hot plate didn't bother me. Like unless I was gonna eat some ramen or something like that. Like, but the guy, he was so nice. The guy that welcomed me to this inn, he was so nice and everything. But
y'all should have told me that morning try to take a shower.
Oh yeah, it was
Y'all should have told me that morning try to take a shower. Oh my god.
We didn't like sprinkle water.
Oh my god. And the massive bug spray I had to spray because little moth things came in the window overnight or some situation.
Yeah.
We sprayed down the whole situation.
We had to buy a whole nother can of spray. That's how bad it was.
Yo, it's like these Mexican insects eat up. They just eat it. They don't die on site. It takes them a minute. We had to respray again. Yo.
And then to add insult to injury again.
Yo.
Flashback. The door had like these windows that open on the door, and usually that's fine. Like that's a little like cute feature. Like the windows open, this, that, and the third. But the windows open, but when you close them, they don't have a lock.
Yo.
So if the wind blows, it could just blow open, and somebody, at 3 o'clock in the morning, somebody can come peeping into your little, to see what you're doing. Trying to see if legs are flinging up, I guess, right? Trying to see if legs are flinging up. But yeah, we literally had to barricade the door, with luggage and everything, to make sure that the windows wouldn't open up.
It was on some next level stuff, you guys. You just don't understand. It was like survival.
Yeah.
Like survival. We have to survive this night. We're not too sure what's gonna happen. Make sure, and my Leo instincts kicked in. My hunter instinct was just like, I will know if any of these things move, because clearly somebody looked up at you.
Exactly.
But nothing happened.
Exactly.
We were lucky. Amen. Thank you, God.
Yeah, but I mean, when we did eventually leave that particular Airbnb, I forget what the name of it was. I can check to see what the name of it was.
House of Scandal.
And whatever.
And
Scandalo.
Yeah.
I could check in the phone to see what the name of it is, and I'll post it up there. But for the price that I paid, I'm not expecting the Taj Mahal.
Correct.
So I gave them a good review, because overall they were a nice, accommodating family. It's just I just gave them a few pointers on what they could do to kind of make their space better.
Yeah.
For the next people that stay there.
Forgive my shade. I'm not trying to be shady, but I'm just crazy, y'all. Y'all gonna learn. Yeah. I'm just a mess.
And then from there we packed our bags and we got up on a bus, and we were going to be heading out to another location.
But anyway, in another video.
Yeah, but anyway, want to kind of talk about, I guess it could relate to community. Want to talk about the idea of community. So it's vitally important that we as human beings, being that we are in a position to do so by boat, by plane, by foot, by train, by car, we're in a position to travel and see other things, explore other people's mindsets, perceptions, artwork, aesthetics, whatever. We have, cultures. We're in a position to do that. And every opportunity that we have, we should be taking the opportunity to travel for the purpose of, embracing other communities and other cultures and learning something new from someone else that you would never have learned before, or just meeting someone new that you never would have met somewhere else. Those things are really important to do while you're traveling. A lot of us get so caught up into the superficial side of traveling, where it's just we want to get the mani-pedi, and we want to have a sarong, and we want to walk the beach, and we want to take a picture for Instagram, and we want to do all of this, that, and the third. When it's just at the end of the day, you want to travel for the purpose of culture, information, and meeting new people.
Yeah.
Meeting new people.
Number one.
So, and it's and as the saying goes, it's a small world. It's a small world, and you never know what's going to happen in this very small world. So, while we were, at my friend's house, what happened?
You guys, that party that we told you about, I don't know, there's just something in me that just knows family and knows phenotype and stuff of that stuff. So there was just this random guy at the party. And I was like, okay, he was an expat, of course, and stuff like that. He was there with his wife and his kids and whatnot. And I just walked into the house and I looked at him. I'm just like, where are you from? And he was like, oh, I'm from from the UK or whatever. But he's like Jamaican mix, and he was raised in Jamaica or the UK, vice versa, either or. But this man was in Mexico, and I was just like, you look like family. And he's like, no. And I was just like, who's your family? Just running down all types of names, this person and whatnot. And it just wasn't clicking until we got to one relative. That's I guess that's our closest link or whatever. But it was a relative that was once a slave in South America, and he was Guyanese. And this man traveled to Jamaica and whatnot. He was a millionaire and stuff like that, from what I've known from my family and stuff like that. I'll probably make a video on that if you guys want. But my relative was a millionaire, so he was in Jamaica, had family over there, and basically we come from that descendant, and I assume that guy is my great grandfather or something like that. So that's where our connection was, and it was just a small world. I just knew this guy somehow was this, I just knew, I just feel it. And literally, we just connecting, and this man showed me the picture. I didn't recognize the picture, but the names that he was just saying, it just clicked. And that's when we knew we were related. So yes, this is a small world. I did not expect to go to Merida, Mexico to find any Guyanese Caribbean family member of mine anywhere on the face of the earth, especially in Mexico.
And it's not like you guys lived in Brooklyn.
No.
And he's just like, oh, you're here and we're here at the same time.
No.
It wasn't even a situation like that. He's coming to Merida from the UK.
It's crazy.
And you're going to Merida from New York.
Yeah.
So it's and
crazy.
You guys happen to meet at my friend's child's birthday party. So it's kind of like the 6 degrees of separation.
Yeah, so
thing.
if I didn't know Branson, I would have never met this guy, reconnected this whole situation, blah, 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 blah. Even to know this is Branson, mind blowing.
Exactly.
Mind blowing.
Yeah, it's 6, well, let's see how many degrees it would be. So I know Tasha. So that's my friend. So I know Tasha, and because I know Tasha, we took a trip to Merida, and because you know me, you went to Merida for the purpose of
getaway vacation.
Jacob's birthday party.
Yeah.
Jacob's birthday party that, we both have come to know. To meet one of Tasha's friends that she met in Merida, I think it's 5 degrees or whatever. It might be 5 degrees.
And her husband, because that was her husband, she met him through her husband. So that's it.
Oh, the girl?
Yeah, wasn't it?
Oh, she met the wife. She met his wife,
Yes.
And through the wife, she met the husband. So then that would be 6 degrees, yeah.
6 degrees.
So 6 degrees is a real thing.
Yeah.
Call it witchcraft or whatever, but it sounds like it's a real thing.
Yeah.
But that's crazy.
Yeah, and it was an amazing experience, trust me. I felt so good that, God was just looking down on me here's a little something. Out of the madness that came out of COVID, here's a release, here's a little something to blow your mind and to tingle your brain with that will boggle you for years to come. How did this happen? How did this crazy story come to this?
Yeah.
But now we have a story for Branson, which will blow all of your mind. And especially this situation with my relative or whatnot, can't touch this. Let him touch it. Let him say it.
So it kind of just goes back to what I was talking about as far as community is concerned. So like I said, ironically, because of how things were going, we had extended our time in Mexico. We extended our time in Merida. And luckily, we had been hanging out with one of the cousins of my friend's husband. We've been hanging out with her periodically. So I think it was the last day that she was supposed to leave. and she wanted to do like some souvenir shopping or whatever, and like go see the site. So we said that we would go with her just to kind of run around. So we went up and met with her in the downtown Merida area, and we were walking around and this, that, and the third, and we had met up with each other late, and by the time we met up with each other, she had already kind of gone and done some things. So when we finally met up, I think we went to go like grab like a quick snack or something like that, and we were sitting down and we were talking, and I think that Alexander was saying that he wanted to go and buy some gemstones, some beads at this shop that we had just frequented like a couple days prior. So we sat down and she was just like, yeah, I went back to that shop. I went to go pick up some new things. And the owner that's there, she told me something that was I guess she said it was kind of funny or whatever. But basically what she said is that, when the first time that we all went into the store, that, of course, like, I took my mask down a little bit and I took my glasses off. And the first time that we were in the store, she said that the lady, she didn't know what to think of me being in the store. So come to find out through our friend, our friend, the girl, the cousin that we were hanging around with. Hey Tika. So she told me that the lady told her that her son had died some weeks prior, and I guess the way in which he died, it was something crazy. So it was kind of like instant, and he was younger, and it was her kid nonetheless. And she said that the first time that I walked into the store, that she wanted to jump over and grab me, because she said that I looked like her son. So I was just like, okay, so I'm all the way here on the other side of the world in Merida, Mexico, and here it is, this woman is like, thinking that I look like her son. And me, it's like I can pick up on body language, but when we were in the store, I couldn't recall any kind of weird uneasiness or anything like that. Like I didn't sense anything. Maybe she was just good at hiding things. But she was telling our friend that that she wanted to jump over and grab me and hold me and not let go, because she thought her son had walked into the store. So, and obviously, it wasn't like her son walked in the store, but she said that I looked like her son, and had certain things that reminded her of him. So I was just like, okay, great. Then we need to go back. We have to go back and check it out. So luckily, we did some running around, and luckily we went back, and the lady happened to be there. And I saw, and as soon as we came in, I took my glasses off and took my mask down a little bit, and we just looked around, and I smiled at her, whatever, and we chit-chatted a little bit, and we went around and shopped a little bit. And she just stood there, like this. And whenever you see somebody like that, that they're trying to hold something in. It's like body language 101. Like they're holding something in, and she was just standing there like this or whatever, just smiling and watching as we were shopping around and this, that, and the third. And it was our third or fourth time shopping in the store. And because of that, she gave us some free amethysts. She gave us each like an amethyst stone.
This is Branson, guys.
Yeah, she gave us all an amethyst stone, for free, because we had spent a lot of money up in the store. So we went and picked up a few extra things, and I looked at her. Yeah, I bought that little tree there. It's all full of a bunch of different precious stones and things like that.
I bought this the first day. I had to get me some amethyst. I was showing you guys this is what I bought that ignited this whole situation.
The amethyst.
Because I had to get me some amethyst.
So again, if it wasn't for the amethyst, this situation wouldn't have happened.
If it wasn't for this, and that's why this is my favorite piece, as he said, I love this added to my collection. It just made the story even better.
Yeah. So as we're there and we're finishing up, wrapping up our stuff, you know, and we pack our stuff and we say whatever, like she's standing, you know, there, whatever, smiling, you know, about this close from me. And, you know, it's C-19 and everything like that. But I didn't care, and I don't think she cared either. And I pretty much just reached out and I grabbed her and I hugged her. And I held her for like 5 minutes. And it was like, so like, it's like when someone does that, it's almost like a release. So it's like she was holding something in for so long. And her kind of seeing similarities of her son in me, and me being able to hug her and give her that closure or some semblance of closure that she needed, is something that I will never forget. It was something that I will never forget. And this is why I said early on about community and responsibility, and the fact that we need to learn to travel for the purposes of exploration and not for superficial reasons. You know, we have to want to go and meet a new person from a different culture, learn how other people around the world live, so that you can either learn something or really feel how fortunate you are compared to other people. Or you might have a situation like me where someone is hurting inside, and you might have that little something that will help to turn everything around. And even if I didn't give her closure, like full closure, at least in that moment, she felt like her son was there one last time. And I'll never forget that. So stop walking around in life with your head down. You know, I know there's a lot of crazy people out there, you know, but you just don't ignore people. You know, even if you see a homeless person and a homeless person says, "Excuse me," just acknowledge them and say, "I'm sorry, I don't have anything." Because they're a human being just like anybody else. You may not want to give them any money or give them anything for whatever reason, and that is your right. But if you wouldn't want to be ignored, why would you ignore somebody else? That makes no sense. So just remember, you know, community. Just remember the idea and the very confines of what community means, and we need to do a lot more of it because we need each other. You know, as you know, as a world population, you, me, Alexander, your neighbor, we're all here for a reason. All 7-8 billion of us that walk the earth, we're all here for a reason. And you'll never know what that is if you never step out your front door and explore the world. You'll never know. But yeah, so with that little story, little somber story there, that brings Merida to a close. That brings our Merida exploration to a close, yes. And like I said, it doesn't stop here. We're going to be heading on and talking about, you know, our follow-up trip. We were gone for like a month. And then our next trip that we went in on was Tulum. And Tulum was quite an experience. And we'll be sure to lay that all out for you in that video. But thank you guys for watching. Thank you for tuning in again. Thank you for following along with this series and this journey as we talk about the things that we experienced while traveling during the pandemic and the things that we saw. And just to give you an overall idea of Merida, Mexico, maybe it's somewhere that you would want to go and visit in the near future, or maybe down the line. Or maybe you'll want to end up retiring there, who knows? But thank you for watching. Be sure to check out our page for new content that's going to be coming down the line. We always are coming out with new stuff, things that are related to fashion and lifestyle and astrology and travel and money and, you know, all different kinds of things. Celebrity, all different kinds of things. So be sure to check our channel out for various different contents that may appeal to your varied tastes. Also keep a lookout for our animated series Resurgence of Hugh. We'll be having some episodes of that coming out shortly for you to continue on the journey if you have been watching that as well. Also, if you have a chance, be sure to check out our shop where we have some great merchandise there. You can get some shirts, some mugs, some phone cases, and we're working on new merchandise that you can gift yourself or to someone that you love. Mother's Day is right around the corner. Check out our shop if you want to get them one of our t-shirts. I don't know. We got some pink stuff. But anyway, with that, thank you for watching. And like I said, in this world, we have responsibility, and we have to also remember that we are all a community and that we all need each other, and to never turn your back on anyone. Because if you do turn your back, the one thing you can be sure of is that the stars will always be watching.